right.
All right. Welcome to the commute.
I'm Shannon.
It's Andrew.
And we're commuting in the dark, almost.
Back from the cabin.
We're headed back from the cabin. It is going to be dark.
We retrieved the phone.
We got Mark's phone.
Who knows what episode you'll hear about the phone, but just know when you're listening to this episode, we did get the phone. And it was there exactly where it was supposed to be.
It's a black phone on a black mantle in a vacant house. I'm sure that was something that we would remember to grab.
2 hours away from home.
2 hours. 2 hours away, yes. So we're commuting back. Probably going to stop for Starbucks here in a minute.
Yep.
And
No probably about it.
No probably about it. We're definitely stopping for Starbucks. It's been a long day. All right. Topic we kind of wanted to cover today was like client loyalty, client satisfaction.
Client satisfaction, retention, putting your client first.
Client first.
That was wind.
That was. So I would say, for me, that's always been easy.
Yeah, same. They're always first.
Yeah, and that's not even like, oh, of course all my clients are first, blah, blah, blah. None of that. Like, legitimately, it's always been pretty easy for me to put my clients first, their needs. I think I did really good with my family expressing, like, hey, this is how I'm going to work my business. When a client needs me, I'm going to be there within reason, right? My parents are sick or kids are sick or, there's always things that happen. But in general, clients are first. I'm going to be there. If they're showing me loyalty and being faithful to me as their agent, then I'm going to do the exact same for them.
Right, exactly.
And as we talked earlier in prior podcast, Andrew has a true servant's heart. So that's, I think that just comes natural for him to put his clients first and make sure they're taken care of.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of our team members and the agents with us are similar as putting their clients first part. I don't think we struggle with that too much.
Yeah, I think they do a good job of putting them first. They might not, not that they don't care about them, but it's kind of like, I think sometimes some of them will see, some agents out there, we won't say our team, but some agents do just see their clients as like a check.
Yeah.
And they still might put them first, right? And do right by them.
Right.
But they still see them as, hey, this is a paycheck.
Right.
And
we all have to obviously make money. We don't do this for free. We don't, it does provide for our families. But there are some times where, Andrew recently walked away from a closing where he should have received like $8,900 and brought home $500. Not even brought home.
No. Brought to the brokerage.
Brought to the brokerage.
So like
$500.
Yeah, and it's because the client does matter, right? Like they were going to lose earnest money, all that. We've talked about this probably multiple times on the podcast already, but that stuff matters more to most of people on our team. You think of anybody on who's been on our team for an extended period of time. Your Christies, your Shelbys, your all those people. Like they will always do right by your client. And, because at the end of the day, too, it's Shannon's clients, right? If you're on the Shannon sales team, they're all her leads and her clients. Like we do right by them because that's what we're supposed to do. Because it's part of being on the team.
Well, and it's how you're going to get more business later, right? So, I know for any time that I've had to give up commission, I've been blessed twofold, just from referrals from those people or other people at the closing table, things like that. So the initial portion of working for a client, no problem whatsoever, I don't think, putting them first.
Right.
Client loyalty and keeping them, like retaining them for long term, I think that's harder.
Yeah.
Everyone is different, so people like different things.
Mm-hmm.
I think we attempt to do a good job. We have quarterly events for our clients. Our top referring clients get mailings from us, like silly little gadgets and different things, just to stay in the forefront of their mind. Yeah. So I think we do really good, at least staying in front of our clients. But when it comes to events, I know this is something I struggle with. Like I would rather do an after hours, happy hour type event or, something to help people relax and just wind down versus bring your kids and we're going to have this big blow up jumpy house and Santa and paint and, it's just but I think that's because my personality is much more man, when I'm done working, I want to sit down, put my feet up, and not think about a thing.
Not deal with these kids.
And definitely not deal with them kids. So, you know, I think it's hard to meet every client where they're at. So I don't know. What have you seen first year? What do you see?
So I think just here, because this past week I've been reaching out to all my clients that we closed and be like, hey, personally, just hey, don't forget about your homestead, right? Just like little stuff like that. I think is no matter the client in the like where they're at. I know, like you're saying, they're all different. Just little things like that that are good that will save them money. I think is just good. Hey, you know, it's been 9 months that we closed. You still get the emails and the calls, but like just those little things I think help too. I don't know. Just I think for me, if I had an agent and they called and checked in on me and then like reminded me, hey, save some money, do this, it's pretty easy. That would mean a lot to me. You know, so I think that, and I think our team as a whole does that really well. And they do, like Jordan sending them all out themselves. So I think if you can do that from a team perspective and as an individual agent, I think helps a lot. Because I have one person I talk to and they're like, oh yeah, my cousin is looking to buy and stuff like that. So you can kind of like get rogue referrals just from that. So I think anytime you just going the extra mile for them, you know.
Well, and like the way we train our agents is this 33 touch. It's not my magic formula. Actually, I got it from Keller Williams, but it's one of those things where you touch your clients 33 times a year. Okay, that sounds
so terrible.
All right, so you interact with your clients 33 times. Okay, however you want to say it. You reach out, touch them 33 times a year. And people agents more than anyone, always want to skip the phone calls. The phone calls matter. The phone calls, most of the time you are just going to get a voicemail. But like what Andrew's saying, just calling them and reminding them of something. After they've closed 3 months later, checking in on them and just saying, hey, want to see how things are going. How's the new house? So many agents, they drop the ball and stop doing everything after.
You going to talk cappuccino?
Oh, yes. Talk cappuccino, please.
Hey, can I get
now you're going to get our order.
Tall cappuccino?
I get a tall cappuccino.
And a Trenta cold brew with just a splash of half and half.
And Andrew gets a what? A Trenta?
A Trenta cold brew with a splash of half and half.
Trenta cold brew with a splash of half and half. Anyways, so that's our Starbucks order.
That's it. Thank you. It's like 20 calories. So.
Well, mine is probably more than
that. It's probably like 100.
So, anyways, I hate that they. Oh, here. I hate that they don't. You get points and all that, so you just use that on the podcast. And maybe I can transfer you money on there. So they don't touch base with the clients after they've moved in, which is really you're missing so much, because within that first 3 months of them moving in, they've experienced unpacking, finding things, losing things, things breaking. And that might seem stressful to a lot of agents, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to call them. What if the AC went out or whatever? But that's a great opportunity for you to help them find connections and meet the right people in your area. So
how's that feel?
Feels perfect. I love it when they make the cappuccinos correctly. It's a little heavy, but not super heavy. It should feel a little bit more like air.
Yeah.
But it's good. Better than Aniston's at one time.
She was bragging about it too.
Anyways, so how else? What are some other things for client satisfaction and loyalty?
I mean, I think as being a good agent during the actual sale, it actually matters the most. You know what I mean? Like them walking away from the experience, being like, "Hey, I know what you did. Thank you. Thanks too."
Yeah, like having them be a raving fan. What did she say?
Kind of like she said, like something lover, but I don't know. She was talking to someone on the phone while she was making her coffee.
Okay.
Because she said, "I'm talking on the phone now. You're supposed to be at work, lady." But like I think like I don't think we should gloss over that. Like, hey, being a good communicator, being there for your client during the sale. I mean, it's always going to be like it's much easier for me to reach out to the clients that I feel like I did a better job on as an agent than it is the ones that I'm like, oh man, I dropped the ball here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
just genuinely.
Yeah. But even if you drop the ball, like still having open communication with them about it, you can still make that. What was that?
I have no idea.
You can still make up for, honest mistakes and stuff later too.
Yeah, genuine, like, hey, I'm sorry, like, or like, hey, I should have done this. Like, I don't know, like my one client that I think I dropped the ball with the most was my very first client.
Lack of understanding, more so though.
Yeah, than actually me like being bad.
Right.
But it was more just like, hey, like this is always gonna, like, it was always gonna be something that I messed up. Understanding the whole scope of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
But and like I just had that honest conversation with her, and it was like, listen, and she understood. Like, no, you did a great job. Blah, blah, blah,
right.
So like, I think a client retention is do good, like make it as smooth as possible from your end.
Right.
And communication, and then like you're saying, reach out to them once a quarter. Email, call, text message. If you know something about them, like I text my one client from Johns Creek that moved to Ackworth about their dog, Layla, their pit bull who's 10 years old. After Christmas, they got her Christmas presents, all this stuff. So like, it's just those little things that they're, and then it's like, oh yeah, my friend's thinking about moving up close to us to Ackworth. If she ever needs any help, just let me know. Like, just like little stuff like that. Like you're saying, keep it in the forefront of their brain.
Yep.
And eventually those referrals will pull out.
And then I also think there's sometimes those clients that they're just, it is transactional even for them.
Yeah.
So they're just like, you're a means to get me to this house, and that's our job. So we do it well. And they're not ever going to come to any of your events. They're never going to
refer you or anything.
Yeah. Post about you, refer you, anything. And that's okay too. I think it really is in our industry, agents, lenders, all of us that are providing a service. I think most of us fail miserably at staying in touch after the fact.
Yeah.
That's more so, I think, the issue than anything. Obviously, if you do a bad job during the transaction, but after the fact, this is why we pick up so many clients from other people.
Yeah.
So think about it. Like if I get a call from a seller and they want to use me and I didn't sell them the house, they had someone sell them that house. There was an agent on the other side of that. They're not using that agent, most likely because that agent did not stay in touch.
Yeah. Which is just crazy.
Yeah. We just purchased a house to flip, and it was one of my past clients that they were going into foreclosure. So we basically saved them from foreclosure. Well, they left the house delightful for us. They left things behind. Let's say that. Well, in the stuff that they left behind my buyer packet.
Yeah, sure.
And
binder.
so when we have closings, we would put together binders. This is a little bit maybe before some of the great technology that we have now, but we would actually print out everything, their contract, the seller's property disclosure statement, home warranties, anything that they needed, and we would put it in the binder with the photo on the cover of the house, the year they bought it, welcome home kind of thing. Well, that was in the house, and that was so cool to see, because think about it, we stayed in the forefront of their mind, and that is why they called us when they got into trouble, right? Hate that they got in trouble, but even if they had to sell it like on the regular market, it just shows that we did a good job staying in front of our past clients. So I don't know things that we could do better. I would love to hear from other agents and other clients, like what some of the things your past like service providers have done for you, whether it's lenders, real estate agents, home warranties, insurance, anything like that, where they do a good job at like staying in the forefront of your mind, and you would recommend them hands down all the time. And like, why would you recommend them? Because for me, I use a lot of different people like in the industry for a ton of different things, and it is sad when you will say, I will not recommend this person, like, because the work was so bad, or the dealings were so horrid. So I definitely, at least we're not there.
No, I'm definitely not. I mean, like, that's still a lion's share of our business is referrals. So like, clearly we're not there.
Right.
I know. I'm just thinking about our partners. Same things. Like, what partners would you, like all of our partners, you would suggest and refer to anyone who doesn't know them, because like you have really great experiences with all of them.
Yeah.
Trust them.
Yeah. And when we don't and when a partner or an affiliate partner that we deal with like on the regular, if they mess up, there's some pretty hard conversations that are had with me and them, and I pretty much do depending on how bad it is, I'm a one strike, you're out.
Yeah.
If it's small stuff or one of those things, there's 3 sides to every story. I'm going to give you a couple of chances, but if we don't, why does your charger suck so bad?
It doesn't like my phone, man.
Gosh, maybe it's all this other stuff down here too. Maybe it's your car. But anyways, so we, I'm more like one strike, you're done if it's a really bad thing. Otherwise, we're gonna give you a couple of chances, and then I'm done. Like
especially if it screws over your client, right? Puts,
yes,
hurts your client, puts their earnest money at risk.
Well, and if they will not make it right, that if there's something that happens and I can't get the partner or affiliate person to make it right, we're done.
Yeah.
We're not going to play that game. We have a lender right now that we're using. He literally gave up every single dime of his commission on this deal, and stop touching it. And his phone. But then he got in trouble from the company that he works with, and he now also has to pay back the money that the company lost.
Which is crazy.
So on top of him giving up his money and the total, like everything, that company is making him pay them back. That's a whole nother podcast all by itself. That really frustrates me, and we can talk more about later.
People don't do ethical business dealing.
Oof, that's a whole. And do we want to like actually physically mention those people? Because I'd be ready. I'd be ready to physically, out loud speak those names.
Yeah.
I'd be ready.
Sounds like it.
I could spit off a couple right now. So once my cabin that we have up here in Blue Ridge is completely on the market for rentals and security system on and all that, I am publicly going to go at the original builder. So you will definitely hear about that one. That'll be that might be an hour-long podcast. I will bore the heck out of some people complaining. I might even say cuss words on that one.
In your defense on that one, he definitely deserved it. It cost you what?
Ooh, out of pocket.
Yeah.
I'm over, I think officially, now that it's all said and done, $280,000 over budget. So $280,000. That's a house.
Yeah, it's shaded.
That's a whole house. Yeah. Oh, this coffee's not strong enough to talk about that right now. So, anyways, client loyalty. I think we do a good job.
Yeah, I think we do. I think, of course, there's always stuff we can do better. And that is where I would be interested to talk to other people. Like, hey, I would wonder what our score, like what our metrics are for client loyalty versus other teams and brokerages, and see where we stack up.
Yeah.
That's probably hard to get from other teams and brokerages.
Yeah, people probably don't even really want to share that. I mean, I guess the closest thing you really have is Google reviews publicly. But even that, I don't know if we've done it on the podcast or not yet. I know I did it on a Q&A, but you've got to be so careful about reviews, because reviews, people can actually pay people to review them. They can also be fake reviews. Like, you can hire these companies and they'll go out and review you like 100 times. So you've got to be careful.
Yeah, and like a server farm that they have 100 different accounts. And
server farm. That's what that's called.
Yeah, like that.
Server farm.
Well, that's yes.
That's great. See, I learn new things every day.
Well, they just have like 150 accounts or thousands of accounts, and they can just.
And then they just sit there and do that all day. It's insane. So we do not do that. But also, we learned the hard way that there are agents out there that will fake. They will create email addresses that are so similar to their clients' names and give reviews, give themselves a review. So we learned that that's shady as heck.
Yeah.
So I would just be careful with reviews. I will say I think Google does the best about like authenticating and all of that, making sure they're as real as possible. Woo! Woo! Okay, if you guys heard that.
That was wind.
That was wind, like shaking the car.
That was a good one.
Whew, wind gust. My car alerts me with wind gust.
If it was Pokemon Go, there'd be dragons out right now.